Many times they
Yeah.
don't want you to change. They want you to be stuck on what you were when you were 19,
Yeah.
which is very hard when you were 52.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now.
You know we are not the same, no matter who's to blame. We're dreaming of
Rafael of Angra, thank you so much for your time today. I know that whenever a new album comes out from you guys, there's always a lot of buzz and expectation, and there's a lot of interviews you have to work through, and they keep you busy. So I do appreciate you taking some time, and especially for this one. I mean, the 10th release, milestones like that, nostalgia, because you've been doing this now for a long time. Like, are you a nostalgic person? Do you like take a step back and look at like, wow, like where we came from, or not at all? Where's your mind at right now?
Well, first of all, thanks, Jasper, for having me here. It's always an honor to. I'm very privileged to be talking about the album, to be promoting music, the ideas that we have. So thanks for taking it to people, allowing us so we can reach people. Well, yes and no. You know, I am kind of nostalgic in a way that I think the past is always where we get our learnings, you know, shape ourselves into better person and stuff, to try to make it better, you know, to keep evolving. So past is, I have a good relationship with the past. I like to look to it, especially my childhood. It was very nice part of my life, you know. That's where I get my inspiration from. That's my basis. I have a very solid education with my family and stuff, so it's a comfort zone for me, you know, remembering my childhood. And all the legacy of Angra is like make me very proud, but what moves me is the challenge of making people understand what Angra is about, you know. It's always very hard, so it's the future, the real challenge is to continue, it's to keep going, keep evolving.
gods of the world, gods of the world.
It's always hard to, when you have like, you know, 3 decades of music history, it's always hard to impress people in a way, because they expect too much from you to, you know, they have the references from the past, so they compare you all the time to what you were. It's hard to convince them that you evolved, you've changed. Many times they don't want you to change. They want you to be stuck on what you were when you were 19, which is very hard when you were 52. I'm not a teenager. But that nostalgia, it's good to bring musically, you know, so people are not too surprised or too disappointed that you disconnected too much from your past, but also finding a way to bring fresh ideas to present, to show that you're still experimenting, to still learning, still trying, taking some risks. So yeah, I'm a bit nostalgic, but future is more important for me.
Gods of the world, come to us all.
You mentioned 3 decades and evolving as not just musicians but as a band. You know, I say like, oh, you know, this is this milestone and this number album and so on, but in a way it's also the 3rd release of Angra Mark III, to use a Deep Purple term. A 3rd album is always a defining moment, right? It's the Master of Puppets, it's the number of the beast. You know, it's when a band truly gets their identity. And given that, I mean, I don't know if you agree with me saying that Angra today might be somewhat of a different band than 2 decades ago, but this is the album, it seems, not to jump ahead too much, where several new members really found each other and really come together. Do you have that feeling as well, that this one is an important one for that reason too?
Yeah, I think so. It's the time for us to really confirm what we know and convince people about it.
Right.
And yes, I feel like it's a young band. It's a 10 years old band.
Exactly. Yeah.
With the same name, but with an old name. You know.
Yeah.
It's complex. It's complex because it's not everyone would be willing to understand that. But I mean, I have to accept that. I mean, and for us, it's the third and the confirmation of what we are in the past 10 years.
Especially, I find, I mean, we know what you bring to the table as a guitarist in Angra. We expect, to your point, we expect that in a way. On this album, I find that there seemed to be a lot of spotlight as well on how Bruno and Luis play off of each other in the rhythm section. A song like Tide of Changes stands out that way, where, I mean, sure, there's also a lot of guitar soloing going on and what have you, but bass and drum seem to be so well aligned on this album. And obviously, I mean, they usually get put in the back, literally, of a band. But on this album, it seems that they really grew as a unit. And am I just seeing ghosts, or is there some truth in that?
No. This is completely truth. Just correcting the name, not Luis, but Felipe.
Oh, sorry.
But yes, I mean, I think it's the best bass and drums in metal nowadays. You know, they're very aligned, they're very creative, they're very connected to many different genres of music, but also like gents, you know, very modern styles of writing music, like gents and other progressive stuff. Fusion artists, they listen to Alan Holdsworth and complex music all the time, and so I'm very, very privileged to have them as the ground sound of our band. And many of our ideas, they're born out of their interaction, out of their grooves, musical inputs. So yeah, I'm very proud of it.
Key themes seem to be, you know, standing your ground and overcoming that hardship no matter what's thrown at you. And, you know, the world obviously went through some crazy times in the last few years, but people that have been following the band for a longer time, we've got many fans worldwide. They obviously know also what kind of personal, well, tragedies and journeys have inspired this new album. And, you know, is that a right way of looking at it, that it's an album that comes out of your personal experiences, but because of the way of the world in the last few years, it will be relatable in different ways for everybody that's listening to it?
Yeah, I think so. I think that there is this common hurt that everyone has got, which is some hidden traumas from the pandemics. We can't evaluate how big is the damage, the personal damage to it. And the point is, everyone is hurt by the same thing, so it's normal that hurt. So why would we complain, right? So it's like we all have in our memories. We try to hide that from our consciousness. The fact that we spent 2 years in solitude, fear, a sense of fragility, vulnerability. We know it was very uncertain for us as musicians of when will the entertainment business be back. You know, it could take 10 years. Could take 10 years for us to be back on tour, for instance. All those uncertainties connect us all, because it wasn't just for a certain group of people, a certain country, or certain social what do you call it, level, right? Everyone. So we tried to connect to that. Let's talk about it. And also, I feel as an artist that now we have more responsibility with people. I think there were main armies bringing comfort to people during the pandemics. First army, doctors and nurses. Okay, they're the first army. They're there in the fields fighting for surviving. But then, for the people who stayed at home, the artists were the second army, giving comfort, entertaining, bringing books, movies, music, entertaining them, bringing insights, bringing thoughts about it, bringing voice to their feelings, to the people's feelings. The album is bringing a comfort, saying, okay, I'm also hurt. I'm also traumatized. I'm a person. I feel vulnerable. I feel fragile. So don't be frustrated about your life, because life is hard for everyone. This is the final message of the album. It's like we're all in the same kind of boat, like trying to survive on wild waters. And it's part of my job to look glamorous, but in reality, we got the same kind of hurts and scars.
Challenging your own hurt into art to give comfort to the audience, in a way. Does that work healing always for you, or is there now also a level of self-inflicted PTSD, in a way, that I like to ask this question to people that write music, lyrics about personal hurt, and it seems that half the people will tell me, well, by singing or writing about my own issues, that helps me overcome them. But there's also a lot of people I talk to that say, like, I poured my heart and soul into lyrics about issues, and they were very personal and very vulnerable. And to be honest, every time I have to sing them now, or somebody sings them in my band, I relive the hurt. Where do you fall on that spectrum?
Well, I fall. It's more like when I started to write Cycles of Pain, the lyrics for Cycles of Pain, it was more like I had a sense of relief.
Okay.
I was getting a little bit farther from the pain itself, and a sense of relief that was gone. So trying to bring that comfort and relief to people, So when I started to write, I wasn't anymore in pain, but I was dealing with the scars, So dealing with the scars is also dealing with the learnings from the bad moments, and finally thriving, finally sitting down to write songs, being with my friends, making music. So I had a sense of very optimistic too, It's like now the storm is gone. After the storm, there's a calm. There's a calm after the storm. So, and trying to bring that sense to people too. I think as I said, there's a responsibility being an artist, because you influence people. People can feel motivated by you or frustrated with their own lives.
Right.
So I wanted people to be motivated.
You mentioned before, everybody has gone through these things. Everybody had to deal with inner demons, and the pandemic brought that to the surface for a lot of people that may have not realized they already had those demons. What is also true is that more and more people are, really, to make a bit of a forced segue, are yearning for this music we see globally, but specifically, which is really exciting to see, in North America, we see the last few years really a rise in popularity of power metal, symphonic metal, prog metal, where traditionally it's been more, groove metal, modern metal, radio metal, let's call it, arena rock, that has been very popular up here. But we see bands from Europe and from Latin America come to North America more to tour as well. Do you see that as well? Like, because you've been with doing this with Angra for so long now. You've seen the cycles. You've seen when your music was more popular than other times. Do you see it on the rise again as well?
Yeah, kind of. Especially because the power metal bands, they've been recycling their themes,
Yeah.
you know, because many times power metal could be too childish, too teenage oriented, and then when these metal fans, they grow up, they cease liking power metal too much, and then they start enjoying other kind of metal. But there's also a very deep connection between power metal and the gaming world, the nerds world in general,
Yeah.
you know, like science and many other stuff, you know, they are connected to power metal in a way. So I think there is this going in America, especially if you're telling me, but I think it's more like people in America are getting their eyes a bit more open to what happens outside of America. And there's a huge power metal scene going in Europe
Oh,
for
yeah.
many decades, you know. So I think it's more like they're understanding that the world is not only about America, you know, about American culture, about American lifestyle. There are many other things happening in the world, and people are very proud of it, you know. It's not that everyone would love to be in America. No, there are things happening outside of America that people like a lot, and they're proud of it. They're proud of their lifestyles, you know. And I think the American people, they're learning this. I mean, they say there are other people, there are other happy people other than America, and maybe in America not so happy as we think, you know. I think it's a cultural exchange that is happening.
Just wanna take it so tonight, take another piece of me, take another piece of think about it.
Obviously, when you talk about a cultural exchange, we can do that in the best possible way by having Angra play in North America. When you start to promote the crap out of this album, which you will be doing, and I know that you guys have announced a couple of festivals and shows already, but you know, we're almost at the end of this year, and but 2024 is going to kick off with a bang for you guys. What should we keep our eyes open for?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're confirmed to Power Festival in Atlanta, which is nowadays the biggest festival that gathers bands from everywhere in the world, prog metal, progressive metal, power metal there in the United States. And hopefully we'll have a tour, you know, maybe with another band, maybe a bigger act that we can, you know, be a guest, but still on the plan, just on the plan level.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the visas you have to pay for to come play one show, you might as well use those costs to play many more shows, because that's unfortunately a reality.
That also, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Rafael, I mean, I feel like we've only just started scratching the surface with everything to unpack with this new album. There's so much going on, you know. The songs like Dead Men on Display are so layered, and it will be really cool to see how you bring that alive on a stage, and I can't wait for that. I really hope to see you guys announce the shows that we can come to, but I want to also be respectful of your time, and I know it's busy days. Rafael, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it, and excited for you guys to release the new album.
Thank you, Jasper. Thank you all in America. Thanks for all the support. Hopefully next year we'll be touring, and we'll be seeing each other and exchanging that energy, you know, musically.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.